in Australia are probably the hardest in the circuit. But I like that, you know, it just pushes me more.
Well, we look forward to seeing some results out there on the tour this year, and hopefully you'll be in the top 30 when we have you back on next time.
That'd be great. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
We'll be back in a moment with Sean Collins to talk a little bit about surf forecasting.
Darling, we've got Buffy and Chip waiting at the club.
I used to watch polo, but now I watch Wave Watch.
Hey, let's go watch Wave Watch, honey.
It's got to be Wave Watch. Watch it. Yeah.
We're back here now with Sean Collins from Wave Track. It's a 976 forecast surf report, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what to look for. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks, Peter. It's nice to be here.
You know, it seems today that this 976 surf forecasting and reports has become quite popular. What should somebody listen for when they dial one of those numbers? What are the important things?
Well, the most important thing is, number one, accuracy. That's a little hard to tell if you can't be in every spot at the same time. But you can get a lot of feedback from your friends if one of the lines have really missed a call or if one is accurate. On the forecast, obviously, if they call for a good swell to come in, you can usually see that or even verify the arrival of that swell from calling their reports. We offer a comprehensive report on all the spots from Ventura down to Oceanside with one call. And that's a real major plus for our company because you can do everything in just one call rather than having to call back a couple of times to get the entire picture.
Should consumers expect total accuracy? I mean,
well,
I'm sure that you can't be 100% accurate all the time.
On the reports, conditions change so fast. By the time we report on it first thing in the morning at sunrise or by noon, the wind may come up or the situation may change drastically compared to the tide or the wind. And what we're doing is giving it our best shot, and if we see the condition changing, we're going to mention something that it's 2 to 4 now and good, but we have a south wind coming up and look for it to blow out later on. That's really giving the callers money worth and trying to keep them posted on what the conditions are.
Well, what are some of the things that can help you before you even call you up, give you some idea of what it's going to be like?
Well, this is from the LA Times here. Basically what we have is the satellite photo is probably the most informative part of the weather section, which can tell you if there are storms out in the horizon here, at least in the northern Pacific. What you really want to look for in this situation are these popcorn type of clouds. That indicates real unstable air and windy conditions in the storm, which will translate into larger waves in the storm. But other than that, the marine forecast, which gives you the wind information for the day along with the next couple of days, the inner waters relying along the beach, the outer waters, if we had 30-knot winds blowing in the outer waters, it's a real good indication that we might be receiving a wind swell. Beyond that, we have the Weather Service forecast. And then over here, we also have the latest coastal observations from yesterday, usually in the afternoon. And you can see a general wave height here. To be real accurate, you probably add 2 feet to all of these, and that'll equal about the same.
It always seems to me, though, too, when I read the newspaper, they're either a day late or a day behind.
Well,
is that a good assessment?
You mean as far as the Weather Service report?
Yeah, no, well, as far as what I see in the paper, it always seems like it's a day early or a day late.
That's true. It's just a little bit hard to forecast, and on the reports, they don't have the updated reports. It's a little bit too hard for them to put in today's reports in today's paper, so they have to deal with yesterday's information.
Well, thanks for coming on the show and talking to us about Wave Track, and we hope everyone will give you a call.
Well, I hope so too. At least give us a try. Try them all.
We're going to go and look at some surf footage now, and we'll be back in a few moments. at another segment from Mark Fu in Hawaii. This month he's dug up some home videos, our first home video segment from the islands.
We've got our first ever Hawaiian contribution to the ever popular home video segment. With us today is a guy named Jim Berlin. Jim's from Haleiwa, and he's one of those guys that he's always on it. He gets all the kind of stuff that nobody else ever seems to get. Thanks for joining us today, Jim.
Thank you, Mark.
I wanted to ask you, how did you get started in this whole video surf thing?
Well, I came to Hawaii a few years ago, and I was looking for someone to take pictures or videos of me, and there wasn't anybody around, so I just ended up deciding I had to do it myself.
So what have you got for us today?
Last week at Ala Moana, we got some great shots of Marvin Foster being towed by a Zodiac right into the heart of a wave, and he got barreled and came out. That's one of the best things I've gotten this summer.
Thanks a lot, Jim, for sharing your footage with us. Anybody else from Hawaii that would like to contribute to our home video section, you can send a tape to me, Mark Fu. Okay, well, that's it from Now from Paradise. Back to you, Peter.
We caught up with Bill Phelps the other day to talk to him about his new movie, North Shore.
North Shore is about an 18-year-old surfer from Arizona who wins a contest in a local wave pool, and with his winnings decides to make the pilgrimage to the North Shore and surf the big waves of Pipe and Sunset and Waimea. And like so many people from the mainland, he has all these big expectations of how he's going to do. He thinks he's a pretty good surfer. He's done real well in a little wave pool. But when he gets up to Pipeline and Sunset, he gets thoroughly thrashed. And then finally gets good enough and he enters the Pipeline contest, the Pipeline World Classic. He goes up to surf against the best surfers in the world, like Mark Akalupo and Hans Hedemann and Derek Ho. And the principal conflict in this movie is between soul surfing, the old-fashioned style Gregory Harrison represents, the idea of surfing to get into some kind of spiritual communion with the waves and yourself, and the new hot dog competition, sponsor-oriented surfing that Mark Akalupo and the Hedemann and all the other young competition surfers represent. All of our principal actors were surfers. We had no intention of using traditional Hollywood actors and getting doubles. Of course, we were very lucky in that we got some of the best surfers in the world right now to play themselves in the film, like Mark Akalupo. Mark Akalupo is #2 in the world, plays himself, and has got a pretty big running part. And there's Robbie Page, his sidekick. They play these two Australian surfers that are on the tour who meet up with Rick. You know, we wanted to make this thing very authentic and true to the spirit of surfing, what actually goes on.
I like the beach, and I love to lay out. But when I go home, I don't go out. I watch, wave watch.
I wish there was wave watch in Peru, but since I'm stuck here, I might as well enjoy myself. Watch Wave Watch, el canal alucinante.
Well, we're back here now. We've got a real interesting home video segment. We've got all the way from Peru, Patrick Van Genhoven. I hope I got that right. Yeah. And he was reading about Wave Watch in Surfing Magazine and got a hold of John Bass, and he's brought us some videos from Peru. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Peter.
Is it true that, as we just had a guest just recently, Felipe Pomar, when Mark Fu was down there, the waves as good in Peru as he said?
Sure are. They're like that all the time, especially if you go in April or May, you'll get unreal waves for sure, overhead for sure.
The videos that you brought us, where are they of?
That's some of it. It's Pico Alto, the same place Felipe was talking about, and some of it is just places around Pico Alto. It's you know, you don't have to drive that much to get to waves like that, and it's uncrowded all the time.
Where's the most popular spot, you know, where kids hang out and go surfing?
In Señoritas, that's like that would be the beach break of Pico Alto, I guess.
Well, is that like the Huntington Beach of Peru?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It gets crowded there for sure. On a summer Sunday, you know, you'll find 40 people out there. But it's a fun wave, and you know, people take it easy. They just laugh. They know each other, so it's just fun.
The Peruvian surfers love to see visitors come.
Yeah, they love that. If you're not a Brazilian, you're all right.
You're all right.
I swear, they don't like Brazilians there. But Americans, Australians, they go there, and you know, I take people into my house. They'll take you surfing. They'll show you around. May is the best time of the year. It's really good waves, I swear. Go to Peru. It's really good waves.
Well, thanks for coming on the show and telling us
Thanks
it's
a
that
lot.
good.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment with some more great surfing.
Hi, I'm Chris Frohoff, and when I'm not standing in the tube at Pipeline, I'll probably be watching Wave Watch with all my friends.
We're back here now with Chris Frohoff, South Bay local, and one of the greatest surfers at the moment from the South Bay. He's been out there doing real well on the tour. Had a great result this year at the Pipeline Masters. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks, Peter.
I'm sure you're real proud of yourself with that result at Pipeline this year.
Yeah, I'm real proud. I was having kind of a slow year, and third place at the Pipeline Masters, which to me is one of the most prestigious events you know, ever held, because it's in Hawaii, it's in big waves, and I really like that, and it gives me some respect.
How many Masters had you been into up until that point?
That was the very first one I ever competed in.
You know, this will be your second year in the seeding order, correct?
Yeah, this is the second year.
Is it a little easier not having to go through the trials?
Well, in a way it is. I think it is. It's an advantage you have to learn how to capitalize on. Sometimes you're not ready to go from the very first heat. You kind of work your way through the trials, and then you're ready to go against really hard heat. But yeah, you have to be ready to just go out there and from the very first wave start performing your very best. Or you can fall behind in the heat, which has happened to me, and then before you know it, you've lost the heat.
When you finished 27th, you know, your best result last year being a third at the Pipe Masters, there's quite a few 17ths and 33rds. Is it kind of frustrating trying to break through that, you know, the 17th barrier everyone seems to have?
Yeah, it's real frustrating. I mean, you get sick and tired of getting 17th. You go halfway around the world, surf maybe one contest and get a 33rd, and it's just like, what am I doing? You know, you just...
Well, what do you think about the next generation of Americans? I mean, the current generation being yourself that came through the amateurs, but what's behind you guys?
There's some good competitors out there, but I don't think it's as strong as when guys like me and Todd Martin and Tom Curran, Ted Robinson, Kelly Gibson, you know, Mike Parsons. I mean, I think that group of people was just, in that one time period, was better than what we have now.
Well, good luck out there on the tour for the rest of the year. I hope to see you up there in the 16.
Yeah, thanks.
That's been another episode of Wave Watch. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with another great show next week.